joining us. We watched the Olympics and watched the United States national hockey team winning gold alongside with the women's national hockey team. But we really think, this landscape would have changed if Russia was really competing up and into it, if this didn't end up happening. So to join us, talking a lot more about it and the experience behind it, Alexei Semenov joins us here on the program. Got a chance to celebrate with Team USA and a lot of these young gentlemen that came up, they competed. I love the fact that the NHL really came back with this into the world spectrum, because to me, I love a lot of our stars, and especially to the international pull when you start watching all these countries compete. So I felt like this was a fantastic turnaround in the world, in the Olympics. And to seeing both the men's and women's team come away with gold is even sweeter, with just that whole entire, the years they haven't won it since the 1980s miracle on ice. That has to feel something else right up from there, right?
Oh, Jake. Hey, Jake. How you doing? It's great to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I mean, listen, it's another miracle. It's another miracle. 46 years. I mean, listen, it's been a minute. So, listen, congrats to women's team and men's team. It's been a great journey, for them to win that gold medal. And listen, it's a big celebration for United States.
So I want your opinion on this, because I know Russia didn't compete this year, but the person I do feel bad for this was Alex Ovechkin, because we know that his time is coming to a close. And I felt like this would have been the best icing on the cake as a farewell tour for him, because he gets to represent for Russia. And we know that, there's always civilized unrest in every country because of our leaders that we have, the situations that we're put in. And I was listening to the Madam President of the IOC, and here's my thing. I mean, we just watched, Kash Patel celebrating with the team, but it didn't influence so much of like what's happening right now in the States. Nobody's even talking about that. But it's like, I'm trying to make things sense, because to me, we've played in the Olympics under Hitler's regime at one point, and one of the stories that was the most iconic movie of The Runner won gold medal that year. And so I'm like, we could face every adversity. The miracle on ice. We know that the Soviet Union, it was a different timeline, but even that was competitive because you had high school, college kids and playing and winning the gold. So I feel like there was some sort of explanation for this, but I feel like this table could have been turned very easily if Russia competed, because U.S., Canada, and I would make the argument Finland and Russia would have been my top 4 teams right there.
Oh, 100%. I mean, first of all, hockey is unpredictable. Like, 46 years ago, United States showed that, they can win with the college players. So it's unpredictable. You don't know who's going to win. And there's always teams are coming out and, they can win anytime, anywhere. So same thing with the NHL. Exactly. You like, oh, this is my horse. You put in, not, just a bet on the one of the teams. And all of a sudden, the team just barely got into the playoffs. And all of a sudden, guess what? They're in the finals. Mm-hmm. So you never know. That's why the hockey is so unpredictable, and it's just fun to watch. For Alex, yes, I mean, what a great player. He's done really well, and he's just an amazing goal scorer. Yeah, that could be unbelievable. Just cherry on the top of the cake, 100%. He was just waiting for it. Didn't happen. But the life moves on, and he's done so well in his career, and everyone knows that he's one of the best out there.
So we got to witness, for years. I mean, we looked at South Florida, South Beach. It's 24/7 bikini season, and people think about, can we have hockey in South Florida because of all of the weather, and then not to mention the tropical storms. But I mean, I tell you, Tampa Bay, with their reign that they had, winning Stanley Cups and being competitive as they are, when you go back to, the LeCavier years and, Martin St. Louis, and then you go and you played for the Florida Panthers, who now are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. And what are the chances Florida makes it in. I mean, they made it in one time, and then they had to rebuild again. But now they're the most competitive. I'd say South Florida, man, they really know how to build themselves their hockey teams, regardless of just where they are.
No, 100%. I mean, I think everything starts with the management. Who runs the show, who, picks the players, who puts everything together. That's basically the main person. And I don't understand why their general manager didn't get award of the best general manager of the year twice already. Like, I don't really understand that. But listen, it's not my alley, and but I think he should be one of the best general managers in the NHL.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and that's
truthfully.
that's what it comes to, like to put team together, to get staff together. It's not just one guy. I mean, yes, he pulls the trigger, he tells who to take, he fills those spots up, but at the end of the day, it's a whole team, and you have to put, I don't know, like 60, 70, you know, people together to win the cup. And it's not
Mhm.
about the goalie. Yeah, a goal is a 50% of the team, right? Who's playing on the ice, but you got to put all those 60 or 70, whatever, 100 people that working for that team together to win the cup.
Absolutely. And it's a team effort. That's why I love hockey so much. I mean, as a Vegas born and bred kid, like we didn't even have hockey, and people were questioning if the hockey would work in the desert. And now all of a sudden, the Golden Knights now have been to 2 Stanley Cups and have won one of them. But their whole task is we want to build a culture. We want to be aggressive. We play together as a team. And we're also a league of extraordinary gentlemen because we're classy. You got to tighten up the tie, and then you got to go out and you got to have some fun.
Oh yeah.
A final question for you, because as a former defenseman, I start seeing this more often, I think because of just the way the game has changed. But back then, I mean, you had defensemen who got down to the nitty gritty. They were there in your face, giving you checks. Now I'm seeing a lot of offensive defensemen. And not to say, can't have those, because there are some guys that really can make the slap shots and hit them right up and into the back of the nets anytime they want it. I mean, Cale Makar, several other really good defensemen. But when you think about that, what does it take, truthfully? I mean, there's still defense involved, but when you get involved into the offense, what does that really, kind of go into? Oh, might have lost the connection here. Uh-oh. Gonna wait till he comes right back up. Yeah, I think it's incredible. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Something
No,
happened. Yeah,
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 no
yeah.
worries.
No,
So,
listen. Back in the days, yeah, back in the days, it was a little different hockey. Yeah, it was a little different. And one of my idols that I was looking up to was Chris Pronger,
mhm,
6'6" defenseman. Always up in the play. Putting the points together. Was one of the best, I think, defensemen of the NHL in that time, and he could skate, he could
yep,
fight, he could do anything out there. So, and I actually was, I was so privileged to actually play with this guy, and we actually had like couple. I think we had a couple of games that we played back, like together on the one line, and they used to call us like two towers. So it was great. He taught me a lot of things. He showed me a lot of things how to do it, like how the big guys are moving, because it's not really easy for 6'6" guy, 235, 240, 250, move around like as quick as the smaller guys. But he was so smart. His IQ, hockey IQ, was on a different level.
mhm,
So, and the same thing with, one of the best Russian, hockey players, but he wasn't a big, but,
mhm.
Sergei Zubov.
Yeah,
What an incredible guy.
mhm,
What an incredible player, with so much skills and unbelievable IQ, hockey IQs. And we played against that, Dallas twice. I was playing for the Edmonton and San Jose Sharks. The way he was presented out there, I mean, the way he was just passing, moving, he just shut us down.
mm. Yeah, I love it, man, especially when you get those very gritty defensemen who are out there defending the puck and at the same time keeping the offense up and onto their sides, but then not afraid to just pull back the stick and just let it rip up from there, man. But the ability these guys have from the heights to, their skating skills is absolutely up and incredible. But Alex, appreciate you for coming on by, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, man. Like I said, I wanted to know, like, from that question with Russia, because to me, I think it would have turned the tables. But let's see. Let's see now from the next 4 years. Russia comes in. Everything is all squeaky clean from here. I want to see some really good Russian competition coming in here up and onto the ice, man.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you remember those days when we were playing out there, the Russians were playing. I mean, it was different. It was so much fun to watch. Russia team has unbelievable players. From goalies, D's and forwards. The opponent, like the points up in the NHL.
Mhm.
It's just a fun to watch, and it's the politics and sports and that should be walking together.
Oh,
So
100%.
that's why I feel like hockey and all the sports should be there, and Russia should be in the Olympics and all the tournaments.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for coming on by. Enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Jack. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to turn the page here quick. We've had a lot of really good guests here up and onto the show. And lastly,